Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new show to the American Magpie, man. I want to say thank you. Hopefully, you had a great Merry Christmas. Well, a great Christmas, regardless. Hopefully, everybody has had a great holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas or something else. I appreciate your support and thank you for being on the channel. We have to talk about, unfortunately, we have to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we have to talk about it. We lost to the one and only, the great and powerful, the invincible Nottingham Forest. At home at St. James's Park. Can you believe we lost at St. James's Park? Oh my goodness gracious. I can't believe it. It was is our fortress. It is the place where we never lose. And regardless, we went this week, or not this weekend, actually yesterday, early in the morning for me in the United States. Man, it was too early, and I woke up to some madness at St. James's Park. But big up, first of all, listen, first of all, smash the like button. Let's get to as many likes as we can. Subscribe, share. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the American Magpie. And of course, hit as many likes as we can get. Let's get as many likes as we can get. First of all, let's get 50. And after that, we can assess and go from there. But big up everybody. Big up Ozan Kabak. Yes, he plays center back. So big up Ozak. It says Joe, big up American Magpie. Big up to you, brother. I think this the first time you're on? At least that I'm seeing your comment. Regardless, I'm gonna give you the welcome music. Welcome music to you. Big up the one and only Osana. And then also Western Housen. Big up to you. He says, hi, big fan. Can you shout a big FTM to all the melt in Newcastle? Um, I'm just trying to read this, and hopefully I'm not falling into a trap, because they've done it to me before, to where they put a comment and I read it and I obviously say something that is not appropriate. But well, shout out to you, Westernhausen. Big up to you. What is your name? Is that your name? Let me know your name, because some people put other names, etc. But I want to know your name, because I will remember. I will remember 100%. So everybody, shout out to all the melt in Newcastle. Are you from Newcastle? Where are you commenting from? I really would like to know. I really need to, I'd like to know where everybody's watching from. Osan says, and you let Chris Wood score a Hattie. Oh man. I can't believe that one. I can't believe. He says new sub. Big up to you, brother. And it was tough. This weekend has been tough, man. Commenting from the ATL, man. We're not far away, to a certain extent. I'm 2 hours from St. Louis. I live in Missouri, and I would say it's about a good 8 hours a drive to Atlanta. So yes, big up to you, man, on that. Big up to everybody in the ATL. And listen, we have to talk about this one, don't we? I mean, it is what it is, man. We have to own up to it. Um, it is unfortunate. It is very unfortunate what happened. Let me actually share my screen for the first time. Let me fix this overlay real quick. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are on this match in particular. What do you think went wrong for Newcastle United playing at home? This is the thing. We played at home, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand it. If you're not a Newcastle fan, I think that you're going to have problems understanding what I'm trying to say here, because we usually don't lose at home. You know what I'm saying? Like it's. I would even say we have a better home ground as far as um, a heavy weight on the rivals' heart, on their mind, than Anfield. Yeah, I think we got the best atmosphere in English football, and but that doesn't work, does it? That doesn't work all the time. It certainly didn't work this time. Nottingham Forest came on and did their business, man. They came on, and Chris Wood, like Ozan was saying, he, we let Chris Wood score a Hattie right there. Man, oh man, my oh my. It was really, it's kind of one of those things. He played for us, and certainly he never while you were watching Chris Wood play for Newcastle, you never ever thought that he was ever going to to score a hat trick. Never. And so, listen, it's one of those situations. Hopefully, I will have a panel coming up on the show. Hopefully, some people will join, and of course, we can interact with them as well and get their opinion as fans. Because it is really important. But regardless, smash the like button, and of course, meanwhile, I got you on. Comment and let me know your thoughts. I really want to chat with you. I want to answer some of your questions, or maybe just interact. Don't have to have a question. Uh, but it's just been a really tough performance for Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle's not in good form. Let's be honest with each other. Listen, I'm always in the middle of things. I don't think that we're the worst team. I don't think that we've been the best team. And I don't think that Eddie Howe needs to be sacked. And I also don't think that it's okay. We should be happy because 3 years ago we were in a tough place in the relegation zone, etc. I'm always in the middle. I try to find things, the good and bad in certain things. And let me tell you, there's no way to sugarcoat this, right? There's absolutely no way of sugarcoating what we've seen on the pitch. Absolutely no way. I think that Eddie Howe did make mistakes, and you have to admit that. If you're a Newcastle fan and you are an Eddie Howe supporter, all of us are to a certain extent. But he makes mistakes, and it's okay to point those out because he's not perfect. Nobody is. And but what I mean is that in certain situations, I felt like he made switches that just don't make sense. He made he started Dan Burn in this match in particular. You see him right there. It just doesn't make sense for me. Just from the start. I'm talking about from the start. It doesn't make sense for me to put Dan Burn as a starter if you got Anthony Ilanga on Nottingham Forest on that side. It just doesn't make sense. Now, listen, somebody can tell me in the comment section and say, listen, Eddie Howe is a professional manager. You're not. All right, that's perfect. I just hang up, end the stream, and I go be with my wife, who actually hates me being on a live stream because I take the time away from my kids and my wife. So I can avoid all this, right? But if we as fans can't have a voice, then we're screwed in this situation. So we're allowed to say what we think. We're allowed to say an opinion. And in my the way I look at football, you have to look at the rivals, in a sense, glance over what they have, and anybody knew with common sense that Anthony Ilanga was going to kill Dan Burn from the get go, and he certainly did do that. Especially, maybe not in the beginning so much, but especially at the end. At the end, the end of the first half, and definitely in the beginning of the second half, when the constant defending and chasing Ilanga in the first half got him really exhausted. And you can see Dan Burns struggling to keep up. He was definitely struggling. And I think that it's a big mistake. It also was a big mistake to keep him as long as he was on the pitch. If you look at it, let me go down here real quick and see, when did Dan Burn come off? Because maybe I'm wrong, right? And then I'll have to admit to it. Let me just see real quick, because I know that, okay, Dan Burn 55 minutes. I think that was too long. I think he should have been subbed in the first at halftime, and then you give him an extra 15 minutes. And Ilanga on that goal cooked him. It was a mistake by Shar as well. Keep that in perspective. There was a mistake by Shar, and but also Dan Burn was cooked. And who knows? Maybe Shar thought that Dan Burn wasn't gonna be able to get to him, and he just tried to go help him out and left his man open. Who knows what was going through their mind? One thing I will say though, that Trippier, people were trying to. I think that it was just already it was in style to kill Trippier after every match. Yesterday he played good. He was a good player yesterday. Wasn't the best, right back in the league as I think, but certainly did do his job. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. He is a right back to a certain extent. He's not, a forward or a right winger that can actually define you a game or win you a game. He's a right back. and he could be the best in the league. And I think that yesterday he played a good game, not great and certainly not bad. So I think that people we should move on from the Trippier situation because it doesn't really help us much. Let's go to Ozan who comments and questions exactly that question. Thoughts on on some of your fan base wanting how gone. Listen, I'm not. If I come here and on the stream and say that I want Eddie Howe out, I would be really that would be irresponsible from me. I'm trying to grow this fan base here on this channel, so it would be irresponsible for me to say something like that without some kind of proof that he is not fit to be a manager of this team. I don't think that that's the case yet because everything is yet in football. You just don't know what's going to happen in 2 months. So listen, for all we know, he might quit. He might say that I got this team to where I could get them. So the next man up. So you know what I'm saying? Like it could be just that, but you just don't know what's going to happen. Do I think that Eddie Howe is under pressure now? I do. I do believe that he is under pressure. I think that when you lose, you get eliminated from the Champions League, you get eliminated from the Carabao Cup. What that was your main objective. Let's not get it wrong. The Carabao Cup was the main objective for Newcastle United to try to get a title in over 67 years. And you start losing match after match after match. The away form is really horrible. We are like in relegation zone if you look at just the away form. It's really, really sad and pathetic. And it is. And there's no hiding that. You can also say, in contrast, that our home form has been really good, except for yesterday. But maybe yesterday was what we needed because we always thought, you know what, okay, we're gonna go home and we're gonna win. Let's see what happens in the next away match. Well, regardless, yesterday we lost in a bad way. In a bad way. And so maybe that is a wake-up call. Maybe there is a time where you're like, okay, listen, we need to make some adjustments. And I'm not talking about sacking the manager. I'm talking about maybe Eddie Howe can think and say, listen, I've been loyal to a group of guys that got me to top four, that really brought us out of relegation zone a few years back. And maybe it's time for me to think more about the club instead of being loyal to certain players. Because I think that the fact that Longstaff plays in this team is based on loyalty. Because with all due respect, with all due respect, and Longstaff is not to be a starter for this team right now. He can be a great substitution. He can be a great sub. He can come on and get certain things done. But Longstaff is not to be the starter in the midfield for Newcastle United. If you want to compete for better things, you got to be smarter. And I understand that you have to be loyal to certain players, but loyalty. I mean, come on. We can also take this word out because it almost seems like if you don't do it that way, you're not loyal to anybody. At the end of the day, they are professionals and they need to get the job done. You know what I mean? Nobody's guaranteed a spot, and so that counts for Longstaff. That counts for Dan Burn. Dan Burn is a terrific player, a great heart, and both of these guys are from Newcastle. But regardless, well, you need to make changes and you need to make adjustments to make things work for the team. And if it's not working, and if you're not completing the task, because in a lot of these games, we were up in the score sheet and we let it go. And it's not as easy as saying, okay, so these guys let it go. Don't let it go no more. No, you need to make changes for this to happen. So yeah, that's what I think about that. I don't think Eddie Howe needs to be gone. But I think that he can certainly make adjustments to do so, and then we'll see. Because ultimately, this is football, ladies and gentlemen. This is football. Nobody is you know guaranteed anything. In the good contrast, the good thing about this is that these managers, these players, get paid a lot of money. If you are a professional footballer or a manager, you are a millionaire. Let's keep that into perspective, okay? If you are playing for Newcastle, if you're playing for in the Premier League, to maybe Luton. I mean, regardless, at some point in time, you will become a millionaire, and you're gonna make millionaire money. So that's the great contrast, because some people are saying, well, how can you just try to get somebody's job, or trying to get somebody fired? Let's relax a little bit on that. If I get fired, I go broke. If Eddie Howe gets fired, he's going to be all right when it comes to monetary uh, talk. He might be upset, but you know what I'm saying? He's done. And also, when it comes to a reputation, when it comes to football reputation, he's done well in Newcastle for him to land another job. So it's not the end of the world either. But I don't think right now that this is the moment to sack Eddie Howe, because there's other things that we need to fix first. And it includes Eddie Howe making the right decisions. Don't get me wrong. Um, what is the Anth, the Mackham? Are you a Sunderland fan? Or, well, if you put Mackham, you're not. But let me know what uh, your name is, brother. And he said, have you noticed that since you started your channel, the club has fell from grace? Hey, man, that's not good. Come on now. Hey, no, actually, listen. Not since I started my channel, because actually I have Top FC TV, that is a neutral channel, where we talk about other teams as well in the Premier League, Chelsea United, Newcastle and Manchester United, City, Liverpool, etc. The link is in the description below, by the way, if you want to subscribe to it. And we talk about other teams. So that's been going on longer than this channel, and I've been a Newcastle fan, obviously, there as well. So no, man, I'm not going to take that. No, not since I started my channel. No, not at all. And it's not my fault, man. I want to talk good about Newcastle, and I'm talking good. I'm actually a balance. I'm not a guy that's gonna go all over Twitter and say, by the way, follow me on Twitter at CROD_FC. And I'm not gonna go crazy and start tweeting. Listen, you can actually go to my Twitter and see my tweets from that game, and you see that I've been adamant. I was talking about it, but I'm never gonna say Eddie Howe out, fire Eddie Howe. These guys suck. These guys are worthless. The amount of crap you see on social media is really insane. It's really insane, to be honest with you. And I'm not that type of guy, but I will react with some emotion. If not, I'm just going to be a rock on the ground. You got to have some emotion, and you got to be able to criticize. I don't agree with the other part, that if you criticize, I'm a Sunderland fan. If I criticize, I just became a fan because of the money. You know what I'm saying? I'm entitled. What is this? Should I not want my team to win? Should I not want my team to succeed, or else I'm an entitled fan? And because I said a few things about the game yesterday, and we're gonna, name a few things that I thought went wrong for us. So I'm giving you context into things. Another type of context into why we haven't been performing is the injuries, the fatigue. But the fatigue, you can't count on the fatigue every single match, and only when you lose. Because when it comes to Manchester United beating them out of the Carabao Cup, when we beat Chelsea, when we beat Manchester City out of the Carabao Cup, when we beat Aston Villa in the beginning of the season, obviously there weren't as many injuries then, so I'll take that one out. But when we beat Arsenal, when we were beating these teams, nobody really said great win, awesome win, and then we were tired. Nobody mentioned nothing. Only in the Manchester United game, maybe some people said, because of, just because they were trying to banter against Manchester United, they were saying Manchester United lost against Newcastle's youth team, or they were saying this stuff, but not for the most part. When we were winning, nobody said, "Oh, we were fatigued. We did a great job." You know what I'm saying? So it's acceptable for me to say, yes, to a certain extent, we were fatigued, we were injured, but ultimately, man, you still got to get it done. Listen, I'm not telling you with injuries and with all this and that. I'm not telling you to beat Manchester City. I'm not telling you to win the Premier League. I'm telling you to beat Luton or tie with Luton. Let me just give you a tie. Liverpool tied, Arsenal tied. I mean, Arsenal won, City won. Everybody used those excuses or those reasonings behind their result to explain that Luton was a tough team. And they are a tough team away. But regardless, they still got the job done. Even if as tough as it was, City got the win, Arsenal got the win, and Liverpool didn't lose. So I'm asking you to do the very minimum, right? And also, I'm also asking you to perform and get it done at home, St. James's Park, and beat Nottingham Forest. That's Let me just look again because I've looked at it yesterday. Nottingham Forest is 16th in the league. So I'm in the middle again. I'm not saying Eddie Howe out, fire Eddie Howe, and these guys are worthless, but I'm also not going to give a pass when we are letting points go against Forest, against Luton Town. We lost against Everton. They are really don't deserve to be in that spot, but you should still perform better. And if you tell me that Chelsea lost against Everton, well, Chelsea suck. I'm trying not to suck. You see what my point is? You know what I mean? You need to also have expectations, and you need to be able to tell your club, listen, it's all well and done, great, but come on, it's time to get it done. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's as easy as just the fans chanting. I will say one thing: I don't like when the fans leave the stadium earlier. I don't like when the fans start booing players for no reason. I don't like that. I think that if you're in the stadium, go out there and do your job because you got one job. And if you're a Newcastle fan, that job is clear. Go out there and chant and cheer for these guys because it might happen. Who knows? We might have scored one more goal, and it was still a good game to finish. So you know what I mean. There's always going to be that reaction, in my opinion. Ozan says Newcastle home form is second only behind Villa. Jordisi, big up Jordisi, man. Thank you for being on. Says Eddie Howe has been our best manager since Bobby Robson. It's ridiculous to talk about sacking him. Yeah, and that's a fair point. Again, myself, I only speak for myself. I'm not going to say sack Eddie Howe because uh, number one, the number one thing about sacking somebody, you got to know who is going to be replacing him and who's going to be better and get the job done. They haven't mentioned in Mourinho. Listen, I think he's washed up, but I might be wrong. But regardless, I'm not saying sacking Eddie Howe. I think uh, now when it comes to Bobby Robson, I mean, I get it. I don't necessarily. I don't know if I agree with that. It depends on how, in what context you say. I think Bobby Robson has been, really, really amazing for Newcastle United. So I don't know if I put him in that pedestal. But you got a fair point. You got a fair point. I don't think sack him because what is sacking him going to do? It's just going to me right now in this time of the league, going through the midway of this year in the Premier League, might just be detrimental to the team to sack the manager. Olsen says NUFC away form is 19th, only above Sheffield United. You see, that's a ridiculous stat. It really is. It really is. I got Ryan in the background to come on and have his say. And when you're ready, man, when you got your camera ready, let me know, brother. Or I'll see your camera and then I'll put you on the stream. Macam says melt massive FTM. What is FTM, by the way? Sorry for my lack of my ignorance there. What is melt Melt massive empty. Somebody said to say that. Shout out a big FTM to all the melts in Newcastle. What is that a banter thing? What is that? Ozan says, y'all got 24 points at St. James's Park, 5 points away. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. Just follow you on X. I'm also Ozan there. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, big bro, for doing that. Jordisi, Byrne and Miggy have reached their level. They were great last year with Eddie's confidence in them, but they're being exposed this year. You know what? In the beginning of the season, bro, I really thought that he was going to be really good, Miguel Almiron, and I mean, I saw it against Fulham a little bit. I believe he scored, if I'm not mistaken, but it's just been really. It hasn't been really great. It hasn't been really great. And Burn, I can agree with that as well. And listen, a lot of these guys, Burn could be a center back backup. Why not? And so it's just a matter of getting it done. I will add Ryan to the stream right now. he's uh he's got to have his say, man. You know what I'm saying? So, big up Ryan right there. Welcome to the stream, brother. How you doing?
I'm all good, man. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you feeling about yesterday's loss? What are your thoughts on yesterday? Feel free to say what you know. Ryan is his own man. He'll say what he wants to say, and everybody's got to respect everybody's opinion here. So, what are your thoughts, bro?
Bro, it's a shit show. Like, I don't know. It's unacceptable what happened. It shouldn't be happening. The players, management, everyone's got to take blame for it. We took it now, and it's not really looking good for us, man. Like, um, was there really anything stand out from the game? Maybe Isaac and Bruno Guimaraes, but
Yeah, Bruno was good.
I think our
Miley,
our back line just yeah, that too. I think our something like the back line was just terrible, man. Like trying to do offside traps that it
uh,
didn't even work.
yeah,
Dan Burn getting spun like it was like Messi against Boateng in the Champions League. Like the fuck's that? It's so stupid.
yeah. I will say that just our defensive line was just really, really tough
That
to
that,
watch.
that game should be a wake up call that a lot of these players are most most of them are just squad player level. Like we got to build this squad around Bobman, Guimaraes, and Isak. I'd say those are like the main guys we bought for. Those are like our marquee signings that are like, yeah, we're gonna win Premier League titles. We're gonna win trophies with these guys. So we got to maintain if or we got to go to the next level, or if not, try to maintain the standard that we put in. But we're not doing
Yeah.
that right now. So it's
What do you think is the
like
fix, man? What do you think? What do you think needs to happen for us to go back, get our form back?
some players
Uh,
need to be dropped. I think too. Like someone like Almiron, he's not cutting it at all lately. I
yeah,
think he'd have value if he, like as like more of a squad player, but playing all the time, it's just it's not it. Like he's worked out. He's too one dimensional. Um, he doesn't possess any kind of threat at all. Purple patch player. Like what more can you say about him? Like it's like enough's enough for starting for me. Longstaff as well. I do get at the point that like what options are there? Like I don't want to see Matt Ritchie coming on the wings. Or is Eddie Howe going to give Diallo a chance? Like, I don't think so now in the season and like the current context of where we are right now. So we just got to wait and see, I guess.
yeah. By the way, you have the link in the description. I mean, on the chat, you can join. Anybody can join right now and have their say. If you want to join the stream, have your say. You're a fan, or maybe you're not a fan, and you want to say something about the game. Regardless, you can jump on. There's a link right now that's pinned on the chat, and you can just click that link on your phone. You don't need a camera or anything like that. Come on and have your say. Of course. Let me just see. I didn't miss Jordice's comment. Burn and Miggy have reacted to have reached their level. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that these two guys are where they're going to be at?
Yeah,
You,
100%. The
I would,
most like that squad players like at the moment, like and like Chris, if you look at the back line too, like really all our future is Baldwin. The rest of them are all above 30. Like if we had Kieran Trippier when he was in his prime, like of course, like we'd have him still, and like
right.
we'd build around that. But he's coming to the end of his career in a few years. Dan Burn and Fabian Schär as well. Like if he was like 26, 27 would have been great. All we need is like another left back, I'd say. But um, look what Newcastle Stan says here. Like I think for me though, I think we need a DM, a right winger, and a striker.
Mhm. A right winger and a striker. I mean, yeah, I mean that's a good assessment right there. I mean, we got Isak, but and he's lethal. But the fact of the matter is, when he gets hurt, um, we just don't have anybody. I mean, Colin Wilson has been there, but with all the
Yeah.
respect, Callum is just not enough. You know what I mean? And it's whether, to be honest with you, I always pose this question, and again, I'm just trying to stay in the middle because I don't know. I hate to be extreme on anything, any take that I have, and I think that Isak is great. And to me, for a moment, I consider him the second best striker in the league behind Haaland. But if he's hurt, then the amount of times you can have him on the pitch is detrimental. If you know, if you can't have him all the time, you know what I mean. So I wonder if we should get somebody that's not injury prone. And I mean, it's the matter. Also, Isak, is he going to be happy with that? You know what I mean? That's the problem,
Well, this is a problem with getting a third choice striker. It's either we get someone that's
right?
going to take for first choice, or we're going to get someone that, like a Chris Wood, that you'd expect him to just be solid and bag us like a
Do you,
goal like every 2 games, but it wasn't it. So
but Chris Wood was. Do you believe that he was actually? We should have. I mean, yesterday he had a hat trick, but come on, man. I don't know. I don't know if he's been that guy really.
no, no, I'm saying as like a third choice striker,
Oh
like
yeah,
Chris
a
Wood.
third
Like,
choice.
not
Okay.
what third choice strikers are really good that you could
Yeah,
think
right,
off the
right.
top of your head, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, not very many that are
So
willing to be
I
there.
think we made a bit of a gamble
Right. One
by
thing
not
I'll tell you
having
though.
3 strikers going into 4 competitions. I think the formation we played too, I think 3 strikers minimum is the necessity, but I guess
One
that
thing.
wasn't it. But we need one still now, especially with Colin Wilson being what, 32 now, I think.
One thing I will say, bro. I miss Saint Maximin, man. That you know.
I'm not buying this whole FFP crap that we saw him. Like, no one knows about our FFP stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not listening to these media journalists. They have no experience in the finance industry. They're just making shit up. And like, these are the same kind of journalists that say Barcelona are broke, but okay, how are they still getting players?
They
Like,
still get players. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
it's a what's the saying? It's like a rock and a hard place kind of discussion.
Right. Yeah. No, I get
That's
that.
my opinion on FFP. Like I know we can't just like go out and spend and be berserk with our spending, but like when people say, "Oh, we can't get this player because of FFP," like no, like I'm sure we can afford like spending 50 to 100 mil like each window on a player.
Yeah. I think we could. We could. But we'll see. I mean, we're really, like you said, nobody's really clear on that.
No,
Um, but Ozan says Luton Town probably one of the hardest working squads in the Premier League, and it could be. But and I knew it was going to be tough. But at the end of the day, man, okay, and then we could agree then if that's going to be the case, if we're going to lose against Luton Town, then we know where we're at, because if we're going to be compared to the bigger teams and get the same respect as well as us ourselves do the job and win games, then we still need to get the job done. You know what I mean? At least get a tie, win against Nottingham Forest. You know what I mean? Like, get the job done. If not, then we can either say that we didn't perform well, or we can say that this is our level. So we should be just cool with that. And if that's the case, then it is what it is. But we can't be reacting crazy on Twitter now if that's our level, because then it's normal to lose. So if people, you can't have it both ways. What are your expectations?
everyone's got different expectations, but
Exactly,
like
exactly.
regardless of how we overachieved like last season, I think the expectation was still set. It's a fact. Like we got our top 4. We should
Yep.
be trying our best to be in cup competition still, be up there in the Premier League with
Hmm.
what, like right now in our case, maybe like another 6 points. I think,
Yeah, and we definitely lost games that we shouldn't have lost. I got to be fair with you. I mean, like,
yeah. And we won
well,
games that maybe we shouldn't have won, like Fulham, for example. Like imagine if Jimenez didn't get the red card. Like
true, that
who
could
knows
be.
how that game could have went.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Newcastle stands. Big up to you. It says, was there boo? Miggy is a wash. Yeah, I mean, you can certainly say that at this point. He hasn't been really. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say that this dude is not good, because he's proven to have talent, but maybe he's not the guy you count on. And to be honest with you, uh,
He's
and
not the guy to count on now.
he's performed less and worse than Anthony Gordon, but Gordon hasn't been impressing me either lately.
Yeah, these players
So,
been completely run to the ground. I
and you
guess
can say
just
that
you want to
if
be
everybody
benefited
or
now.
most players play badly, then it's not their fault. It's the manager's fault. You can say that, but I don't know. It's a
The
tough
thing
situation,
is,
man.
the thing is, Chris, is that our current situation, like we didn't rotate. I think Everton was the game to rotate properly, and I think it was a missed opportunity not to.
Yeah,
And we're dealt a poison chalice because Eddie Howe's going to get criticism no matter what if he picks a depleted side, which we have now, or play kids for a full 90. And then, or not even a full 90. Like they could say someone like Diallo or Parkinson can start for like one half. They could imagine like they have the worst performance 45 minutes. You got to sub them off. Confidence is low. The media will be all over you. So it's a lost cause situation that we're in right now. So we almost got to ride out the storm a bit for me and get to January, regroup,
yeah.
uh, have play the time game and hope for these players like Joe Willock,
Joe Willock, we missed that
Harvey
guy, man.
Barnes, Elliot Anderson to come back because we
We-
need these guys because the bench is looking awful and these guys need to come in and provide competition
Yeah,
because there's no competition right now too. And like players like Almiron and Gordon know they're not going to be dropped. So
yeah,
they know they can get away with robbery performances.
yeah. And we definitely miss Joe Willock. I think he was really great, and he's that one missing piece. That I mean, we did great with him against Manchester United at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
To me, he's that one player we need back. I think Olsen says I went to some Atlanta United games. Almiron was a beast in the MLS. He sure was, and that's why he went to Newcastle. But you know, after a long time, you got to question whether he is enough or not. You know what I mean? Whether he is, or maybe he could be a substitute. It's at the end of the day, man. He doesn't have to be the starter. So
Yeah.
big up Jonyo that says Newcastle got lucky last season. That luck has run out this season. I don't believe it. I think lucky. If you're lucky,
Which
that's cool. But Newcastle did enough to get where they were at. I don't understand lucky. You still have to win the
if you
points.
mean luck by overachievement, then yeah, but like
Yeah,
I feel like every Premier League team or any kind of sport team nowadays, they get luck no matter what. They get decisions that go their way that
right.
should fluke goals, all this and that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that at some point in time, you know, listen, I don't necessarily think that the PIF is particularly happy with what's going on.
No way.
So you got to keep that in consideration, and that's uh, you know,
And
again, we just don't know, but it could be
people
tough.
think of Amanda Stavely and her husband are like they make the shots or they
Yeah,
call the shots, but the people that really make is the chairman and all his buddies that we'll never
it,
see because
that
they work in Saudi Arabia and
yeah,
they'll always be behind the scenes kind of guys.
and that's the thing, like. And those people can run the club if you want football wise, but at the end of the day, when the owner comes on and he can overwrite anybody, and you know what I'm saying. And I think that
Yeah.
i- you got to take that in consideration. I know people don't want to talk about it, but it
You know
can't
what is
happen.
you know
Just
what
like
is
any
Chris?
business,
You know what is Chris that people refer to the Amazon documentary as like a argument, like to rebuttal an argument. They say, "Oh, look what they said in the Amazon documentary." Like uh, the the chairman coming out saying, "Oh, you need the right ingredients to make the right creation or whatever." Like,
mm,
but opinions change, expectations change. Like whatever they said during that documentary will not fully be valid to this day, I imagine. Like things change, man. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, I got what I got somebody in the background. Name is Gab Grab. Man, I don't want to say something that's gonna make me sound a fool on live show. But live barracks. What's your name, man? Big up to you. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, brother. Where you from?
Hey, we over here in New York, Long
New
Island.
York. New York's in the building, man. Let me give you the welcome music, brother.
Thank you, thank you.
New
Everyone's
York in
doing
the
good
building.
tonight.
What? Hey, what part of New York, bro?
I'm over here in we over here in Valley Stream.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I do hear that New York accent, man. You're not, you sound kind of Italian a little bit. You're not Italian, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not born over here.
Okay, big up, man. I appreciate you being on, brother. Yeah, man. Are you a Newcastle fan?
I am a Newcastle fan.
Right on, right on. And what are your thoughts on yesterday's match, bro?
Abysmal. No, the real direction.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Um, how can we fix it? Are you on the Eddie train or are you on the Eddie out train?
I could Eddie Howe could either he could go out or he could stay in. Honestly, I just feel I don't want to throw him out the door so soon, but
Right.
you know, he's been making a lot of questioning decisions for a while, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you can question really whether I can actually question why Dan Burn was playing against Ilanga to start with. To me, that was crazy. I mean, you knew that it's just not gonna be. He's not gonna have a good time, man. He's a 6'6" guy chasing after a really quick, energetic. And to be honest with you, Ilanga was on every dangerous play for Nottingham Forest, every single one of them, and he decided wrong on many of them. To be fair with you, and so and then at the end, I know that he was trying to attack, but he has Trippier as a center back with Fabian Schär. I just didn't get that at all. And he puts Lewis Hall in. I just didn't know how the offense, how we were going to be more offensive, or we were going to supposed to be attacking more. You know, yeah, man, it is tough to see this, but
Yeah,
I-
I don't see why he put Burn in when Hall is that's a perfect start for him. That's Nottingham Forest. Like that's not like a City or like that would have been a perfect game for him to get his feet wet.
right.
But then Burn just made Wood look like Zlatan. Like he always does this. I never really rated Dan Burn. I said it from the beginning. I rate Lascelles over Burn. People looked at me
Yeah.
like Lascelles, but Dan Burn always looks shaky like that to me.
Well, I mean, as a center back, yeah, I mean, I got to sell, and I think that for me to keep Burn on the team, he's going to have to be a center back, and he might not start, but he's not going to be a left back. That
You know
was
what
a
they could
thing.
do?
Yeah,
They could revert back to that back three we used to do. I don't know how they would all do with Sharp, Botman, and Burn, and then had the wing backs. You know what I'm saying? But
Going back to the Benitez days with that.
but we got Lewis Hall, and he puts him on
yeah, I'd
late
rather not do
usually,
that. I'd rather not. Have Lewis Hall left back, Sharp, Botman, and Trippier.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
you know what the thing is, like you see with Valentino Livramento as well at left back, like you see like the way he's creating attacks from left back too, and Dan Burn just cannot do that. Like he has no idea how to overlap, underlap.
Yeah, but that's
His
obvious
attacking
though.
his attacking IQ as a left back's just not it.
Yeah, that's obvious. He's a 6'5" left back. He's good at
But you know what? Sorry, I don't know what your name is, but people just love Dan Burn because he's a local lad, as they say.
Yeah, he's a local Geordie. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
him too. He has his days where he's immense. He's good. He's good against at corners too. He just scored a goal. I think it was a header on a corner very recently. Maybe
yeah.
yeah. So that's why people like him. He's really good. His aerial ability is really good. But
Yeah, and we're playing him based off that. Like something like Lewin, I remember people telling me like, "Oh, we're starting him because they got tall forwards," but like he offered nothing against Lewin either. And then okay, maybe give the benefit of doubt. Oh, it's a game we'll rest Livermento for, but then he comes on too late in that match as well. And like
yeah, that was way
I
too
don't know,
late.
Dan Burn he did a job for that one season. Now I think it's just he's got to be on the bench for us, man. Like
I feel like if you're gonna play
I'd
him, you
keep him
gotta play.
just for that like core and like like keep those kind of players like him so that like if we're trying to build like and be a better team every single season. Like he's not there to like how do I say it? Like he's there to like keep the ego down if we buy any more superstars because you need some of that like you need your core as well. Like you can't just buy a bunch of ego heads to get to the next level too. Like proper
Mhm.
squad building.
Yeah. Newcastle Stan says need a left back and a right wing. That's kind of what Ryan was saying we needed. Jordisa
Yeah,
says, "Don't get too depressed, lads. We're having a bit of a rough patch at the moment. Our future is going to be amazing." Yeah, no, I agree with that.
yeah.
I agree with that. I mean,
Uh,
but you know, that is a good point. But regardless, you still have to make the right decisions now for you to get to
Mhm.
that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that. And listen, I'm not going to be Eddie Howe out. I don't believe in that. I don't.
No, me neither.
I think it would be detrimental to the team right now, and we need to keep calm because eventually we're hitting a rough patch, and yeah, it was going to happen. But
This
but
will
you still,
test him for sure.
yeah, but you still have to. If something goes wrong and you don't agree with it, you still have to criticize. You know,
Yeah.
you have to say what you think.
But some
What I
people don't want to because people are like, "Oh, look where we've come from. Be happy. Be happy that we're not in relegation." Like, I'm not having
Listen,
those
no,
excuses
we
yeah,
had
anymore.
a
that is
very good
crazy, man.
squad. We had a
I
very
would
good
say this.
squad.
I starting to think this now. Like as much as people mention Mike Ashley, I feel like they miss him. You know what I mean? Because
It's
I
true.
don't I don't get it, man. Like get the hell
It's
over him.
because it's because some fans, I feel like they don't want to. They hate this idea of going too fast and like spending a lot of money because it's like kind of like the opposite of the FOMO effect, like the fear of like getting in trouble, like the fear of getting like points deduction, like Everton did. Um, whole bunch of stuff like that too. Like, but like a few weeks ago, Chris, I remember you on Terry's channel and he asked you about
Yeah.
like if Eddie Howe's the guy to take us forward. And I think the answer still for me is yeah, I don't know. Like we just gotta see first. But like it's not good that we're knocked out of two cup competitions already because
Yeah.
it's a
It's
shot at trophies and we desperately want to need a trophy.
right.
So
Yeah,
the one thing is that the recruitment's been great and I expect it to continue. Like I mean, not every sign. Like I'd say 90% of the signs have been good. I think they'll continue on, and Eddie Howe's
Uh,
just got to like find ways not be so one dimensional with our tactics because we are kind of getting worked out. Like the Bruno and Almiron 1-2s don't work anymore. Um, I don't know, certain other play patterns of play just don't work for us either. Like our
right.
style relies on the whole energy thing.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. Like when you're
Yeah,
intense and that's your game, eventually you're not gonna keep that up. For the whole match, and
yeah.
everybody should know that when you have a rested, free, injury-free team, you're not gonna keep up. And if you got the fatigue, the playing back to back, you got all that stuff going on,
We gotta
then
be able to beat teams
you
based on quality, not adrenaline as
you
well.
got to be able to beat them with different styles of football. Doesn't mean that you gotta switch up, your mentality as far as attacking or defending, whatever it is. But you have to still figure out a way to beat teams or get results without having to always resort to that one way, or else, number one, people are going to figure you out. What did teams do? What did Nottingham Forest do in the very beginning? Listen, we're going to wait the storm. We're going to wait the
Yeah.
storm because they were coming and coming and coming. Newcastle players. We're going to wait the storm. Eventually,
Exploit
they can't keep that up.
counterattack and exploit
Yeah,
the offside trap. And credit to Nuno Espirito Santo, he got that down to a T. And they won because of it.
yeah.
and we've been playing
Newcastle.
the same lineup for like 5 games.
Yeah, and that is another thing. That is another thing. Like we need to be able to, like, I don't know this new football thing. When I grew up watching football, your center backs were sacred. You can't be switching them off because they play off each other. They have to understand each other in order to
That was
um
desperation there. Just have
right,
one center back on the pitch and fill it up with fullbacks.
exactly.
Like
And
trying to
then
prove something.
That's the
and
only
another thing,
option, and that's the only options we have on the bench is those
right.
two kids from Cobham. Like yet again, seriously gonna say Matt Ritchie's gonna change the game? No, the guy's finished. don't know why he got a 1-year contract. He's just a motivational speaker at this point for the club in the change room.
Yeah. Uh, Newcastle Stan says Minte is coming back. Yeah, that's a player that we can look forward to as well. I think he's playing in France, right? I forgot the
No, he's
team.
playing for PSV, I think.
Oh, PSV. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. I feel like if he comes back, that's desperation as well from us. Because he's
Yeah,
just he's a young kid learning his trade. Like
No, but if he, I've
we're in
seen a
a
couple videos
crisis.
of him.
We're in like a fire right now. Why would he want to be the guy to extinguish it for us? Like putting all this pressure on his hands? No. Same with
You're
Koal
wrong.
if that
You're
happens.
right. You're right, and you're also he's a good player. He's really tricky, Mente. You know, but we do need somebody more established if we're gonna look for European type flight football. You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
Newcastle Stan says Kuro as well. I don't remember that player actually.
Koal, the Australian
Kuro.
kid.
Okay. I would take Conference League though. He says that would be finishing sixth, I believe. Yeah, I mean, when it's kind
You
of
know what
tough,
it
man.
is? I think that's what's with Villa right now is that since they've been playing Conference League, like I think they've had a bit of luxury to rotate. Like for us, we had to
Yeah,
play our best teams the whole time in the group stage.
yeah, yeah. No, 100%. But I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be good, but I need to see Europa League, man. That's and I think that we're still in that fight with for the fifth. And I said this fourth, fifth, sixth spot, but then West Ham United climbed up, and now we're in a fight with them as well. Manchester United getting points, Tottenham getting points, and we lost. So that's very detrimental to our chances.
If
And
we
so,
lose to Sunderland, would you say, "Hey, Eddie, you're
ooh,
gone at the end of
man,
this. You're gone at the end of the season. We'll find someone
no
new."
way, no way we lose to Sunderland. No
that's
way.
that's one that's one hell of a topic for when we do the preview. But yeah, to just short answer that question, man, I'm saying no. We need to keep Eddie, but I'm telling you, that would be a bad loss. No matter how I don't care if if we are on them 24/7 playing in their box and we don't score it, and somehow we lose in the counterattack. I don't really care how. My damn camera is frozen. But I think that's got to be a win, man.
Now you're right. With our caliber of players, if we cannot win against a championship level team, he doesn't have it right. He doesn't have this tactics right. He has. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know, I was about to say he has to go, but I don't know.
And that's the thing, though.
I don't know. We can't use this whole like, "Oh, these players have never played in this derby" excuse too. Like we got to win this game based off
Yeah,
quality, not off.
that ain't gonna get it done. Yeah, no excuses. And to be fair with you, what's your name, bro? By the way,
My name is Ryan.
Ryan. Also,
No, no
Yeah.
oh
way.
hell no.
Wait,
Okay,
who else is Ryan?
the gentleman right here, Ryan. Yeah, the one next to you. Yeah.
Just
So
call me Ryan R. and whatever his last name is.
yeah.
Oh,
Ryan, whatever.
okay.
Well, Ryan, he's got that's what it's about. He's got a great point. It's not about Sunderland. Yeah, that you have those elements that are when you talk about it's a derby, whatever. But the main thing is it's a mid-table championship team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You cannot lose against that, man. We
No,
cannot.
No, but
I don't even care.
also
Yeah,
I don't care
I
either.
forgot. He might use his younger players and his players who don't play. Remember? So you never
mm,
know. Might do.
Maybe.
yeah. Big up
I
Jordy
feel
Brett.
I feel I feel like the season's gone not the way it has, so I feel like we
Yeah,
still got to play our strongest team, especially in a cup competition.
yeah. Big up Jordy Dread TV, of course, always on the show as well. He's got a
Big
great
up.
Newcastle channel. So smash the like button, people. I'm not about he should be, or if he has time, he'll be on. But if not, regardless, big up to him, and we'll definitely have him on at some point in time. Um, I got notified that Twitter or X is able to bring in comments, so we can read a comment from X right now. You can follow me at CROD_FC,
That's me.
and it says. Big up to Simulation RY. It says we didn't overachieve last season. He says I have something to say about AG. Who's AG?
Anthony Gordon.
Anthony Gordon. Yeah. Well, listen, the link is in the description, or actually, I don't even know if you can get the
Brother,
link.
brother, that's me, brother.
That's you?
Yeah,
Oh man, there you go. I was about to say, oh, you were watching on Twitter. Big up to you, man. That's
yeah.
that's cool. That's cool.
I think I
Well,
think we follow
did you
each
say
other.
it? Did you say what did you say about Gordon?
No, because I heard you say, I don't really. You said you didn't really rate him that much.
No, not Gordon. Not no. Not rate him. Um, I say that Almiron hasn't been playing good at all, and
Same
Anthony
with my
Gordon has been
thinking.
playing better, but not really playing amazing. He's not like
Okay.
killing every game. Not like Lewis Miley per se. And all of a sudden we lose, and you know what I mean. So that's what I mean. But yeah, were you going to defend Anthony Gordon, man?
I was not. I was going to agree with you.
Okay, good.
Here's the thing, bro. Our number tens. We come from a group of very talented number tens. Football nowadays, I feel like it's not really about talent. It's more about athleticism.
Yeah.
No. So like I get the press with Eddie, more high tense press, but you need quality like Isak, like Willock. You need like that doesn't come from hard work. I don't want to say that, but it doesn't come from hard work. Those people just naturally have it in them.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Newcastle Stan says 2 more years. I am giving Eddie. You just gonna give him 2 more years just like that, flat? I mean,
How many
we
years
don't know.
does he have on his contracts?
I mean, yeah, probably,
Ending,
yeah,
right?
but I think that look in football. I said it earlier, and it's to some people it's not gonna sound good, but it's my objective perspective on this on football professionals. And why the hell is my camera keep freezing, man? What the hell? And what I'm trying to say, you can still hear me. What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is that yes, this is a sport where you can lose your job at any moment in time, but also
Yeah.
you got to talk about money. They get paid a lot of money, and that is a great positive into when you don't perform well. When you don't do this, you don't do that. You get paid. And listen, yeah, I think that Eddie also has earned his right to be to be able to have a job in another Premier League team. And I'm not necessarily saying he needs to be out, but just I'm not going to go to that extreme. I believe Newcastle Stan's name is Jay, so big up to you. But I'm not going to just go to the extreme to say we need to give him 2 more years just because you
Yeah.
still need to see the results. You still need to see how the team performs because it is football, man. 2 years is a long time. 2 years is a really long time. And if this continues for 2 more years, we're going to be relegated to what's below the championship. You know what I mean? You got to be careful. I'm,
League
I'm
One.
exaggerating, of course, but listen, we can't be on black or white. Some things are just gray, man. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you guys want to say something about that.
Now 2 years is
No, I
pretty.
agree with you.
That's
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
You can't just say, "Oh, I'll give you." Sorry. Oh, yeah, I'm not that kind of person to say, "Oh, give him 2 years," because anything can change. Like in a whole month, like we could lose all our games and opinions change, man. So
yeah, 100%.
yeah,
Ozan says, "How many injuries do you have going into the game at Anfield?" Look, I can tell you real quick. Um, Let me just look at it real quick. Yeah, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players out. Tonali suspended. Javier Manquillo, he's doubtful. I don't know what doubtful means. He's going to play or not, but I would assume he's still out. Jamal Lascelles is doubtful as well. But we got Shard and we got a Botman, so that really shouldn't be the problem because ultimately in the beginning of the season, one of those guys wasn't going to play. And Botman was surely to be a starter, and Fabian Schär more than likely going to be a starter as well. So
it says we got 9 injuries on this website.
yeah, and so got nine players out, and then Joe Willock, he's out. I think he's a big one. Matt Target, I mean, it depends. He played for a few minutes against Manchester United for the Carabao Cup, then he was out. So really, I don't know what to miss on that one. Nick Pope, even though Dubravka is not Nick Pope, I don't think that we can blame anything on Dubravka. You know what I mean? I don't know if
Yeah,
you guys disagree because I think
he's
it's
People were trying to blame him. I think give him some blame in the second goal. I think where Wood just went around him. It was that goal? Yeah, But it's like
Well, at some
the
point in
whole.
time,
You got to do something, man.
you
Like,
got to do something. You got to do
yeah,
something, man. And so, in that moment, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
one
You
on
know,
one with a striker, a goalkeeper, you're never saving them. Like, unless you.
No, I disagree. He's been bad,
you think he's been bad
especially with Tottenham. He,
with
Oh, I
Tottenham?
thought
He had one
I
play
thought we are
against Tottenham.
talking about this game.
with
Yeah, no,
Everton,
yeah,
he's been
but that's his
bad.
second game in how many years? Like, you know, in when he came on when Pope got hurt, people got onto him as well because he looked shaky and whatnot. That's the first minutes he got since he. I don't even know the last time he played. Dubravka played. Maybe in the Carabao Cup last year. I don't know, but you know, you still need to give time to adjust. Yeah, with Tottenham, I do agree. He looked shaky. He didn't know what to do with against Richarlison. But I just don't even know that. Listen, but look, I've been in this position. Listen, if you want to bring the hair, bring him. That's okay. It doesn't make a difference to me. So you bring the hair, great, and that solves that problem. You know, if you think that we have that problem, but I think we have bigger problems than Dubravka.
No,
To be fair with you,
that's a huge. I mean, you're right, but our defense is pretty shake or not. It's non-existent right now. So
that is the problem. And another player that's out that we miss so much, aside from Joe Willock, is Jacob Murphy. Man, he is
of
uh,
Murphy.
Yeah,
man, I just that one hurt me when I saw him dislocate his shoulder again. I believe it was against Borussia Dortmund again, wasn't it? Um, like in the same, like he injured it in the home game, and I believe he injured it in the next game, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, yeah, he's one player that we missed, but he's going to be out for a while. Harvey Barnes is another player that people talk about. Um, that's not available. Anderson as well, but you know, so those are the players, man. Those are the players. And one thing I said about Tonali, he was in Dubai, I think yesterday or the day before. He needs to stop posting pictures on the damn social media when the team is sucking and performing badly. Get your ass home and support the damn team because you're not out. Not even injured players get to do that, let alone a player that got suspended for misconduct. You know what I mean? Whether you agree that he deserved the ban or whatever, get home and at least everything is perspective, man. You know, just don't post pictures with your girlfriend in Dubai chilling when the team is performing badly. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You just gotta stay your again. My perspective on this: you get paid a lot of money. You're still getting paid. Newcastle's still paying that contract, and the least you can do is sit your ass in one of those comfy seats at St. James's Park and just
Yeah.
be there. Stop. What are you doing in Dubai, man? You know what I mean?
Wait, who's doing this again, Chris?
Tonali. I saw, and listen, I could be wrong, and then
Oh,
maybe
okay.
he overnighted
All
all the
right.
way back to
Okay.
Newcastle from Dubai. But the last I saw him, the day before the match, he was in Dubai. Unless it was possible for him to get a private jet and get back home that quick, then I'll apologize. But regardless, you need to perspective is a big thing, bro. I'm not saying don't have fun, but you just don't put it out on social media. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't agree. And listen, and it's a double edged sword, and it's really contradictory because if the team was performing well, then maybe I wouldn't say nothing. So maybe that is a fault on my behalf. But
I don't see anything on the Reddit. And I feel like something would be said is Instagram. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I saw it on Twitter, I believe. Yeah. So Newcastle stand Jose is washed, and I'd rather have Carlo. I think he says, well, hey, Carlo Ancelotti would be amazing. But
isn't he
again,
becoming the Brazilian manager?
yeah, he's more than likely going to be. And Dan Burn must only start when the team is wiping crosses. Like, yeah, no, he's great for that. But yeah, I do agree. I think the Ryan just left, and we're going to be wrapping up really soon as well.
Yeah,
We're going to finish with these comments. Jordicia says, "What do you guys think about giving Trippier a break or playing Livermento?" I, I think you expose Trippier if you give him a break like that. I think you do
I think
expose him. But I think he played great yesterday.
I think
So
he's man enough to actually just say no. I'm gonna keep playing, like
yeah,
even though it's shit.
I think he played good yesterday.
He didn't. Yeah, he wasn't the
Good,
worst player
not
there
great,
yesterday.
not worse. He was just good, and that's really all you can ask for at this moment. So yeah, man. Jordy Dredd says Minte is a Feyenoord. Okay, Feyenoord. So that's a good one. Bellingham from Wish. It says who would that be? I don't know.
I think he's talking about his actual brother that plays at Job Bellingham.
Oh, Joe plays at Sunderland,
Yeah.
which is crazy. But hey, listen, if he's got talent, I don't give a damn, man. I guarantee you he'll come to Newcastle. He wouldn't hesitate. So big up to everybody, man. Thank you for being on the stream. This was a great show. Thanks Ryan and this Ryan for coming on. Two Ryans. And unfortunately, Jordy Dredd couldn't be on, and of course we always have Philip from Toon Tactics TV as well, but he couldn't make it. Something going on in England. I don't know. There's festivities, but if whatever it is going on, have fun. And I appreciate everybody coming on. I appreciate everybody smashing the like button. It is really important. I appreciate everybody watching, of course. And this is our first stream on Twitter as well. So big up to everybody. And yeah, man, I appreciate you. Thanks, Ryan, for coming on. We'll see you on the next one, guys.
Thanks,
Peace.
Chris.